last year I did a video on abutment vents. Now what's an abutment vent? This represents your roof, this is your upstand, this is your wall, and this is where your air can go down. The membrane that goes on here, and that'll be lovely and waterproof all the way up to that particular point. However, what we need to do is put a vent and finish this top off. So last year I did I made up one of these. I'll flick a little video up there of showing you how I made that up. But I made one of these up, and you end up with a vent on the top there, so air can go up, around and down inside. And then I made a timber framework like this that goes onto there and goes over the top. Now I thought that was quite nice and neat, but installing it had a few problems, and I had to make it, and not everybody has the facilities of making something like that. So I decided that I would use I found online that you can buy a proper kind of abutment vent, and this is it. So I bought, the next job I did, I had about 5-6 metre run to do. I thought, right, okay, I will use this. So on the roof I built all of this. Wall was already there. I built all of this, bolted it together, and all I needed to do was to put this on top, fixing it down from here, and then fixing it to the wall like so. Now then, once that was done, you had to dress it. Now I dressed it using, let me just screw that into there. So this is what we ended up with, and I had to dress it. So I used the artificial lead, which I was able to get. I had to prime this first. I was able to get this underneath there, get it on, get it over the whole thing, into the wall, and to silicone the joint where I went into the joint of the brickwork on the top. But when I looked at it, I thought, you know what, that's really bulky, and I wasn't particularly that happy with it whatsoever. Now at the end of the video I will show you, and you tell me whether you think that that's the better option or that's the better option. But I also found a few other problems. So if I just take this off, so it was a really cold day when we got to the job, and when we opened these up to try and move it, there you go, that's exactly what happened. I mean, so luckily enough I had enough of them, and the first two that I opened to use broke. So I realised that it must be to do with the cold weather. So I got a heat gun and I heated the joints. Once I'd heated the joints, it was much easier to open and shut. And of course, as I was putting it on and off, I was having to heat the joint so that I could bend it back so it didn't break. So that was the first problem that I got. I've got another piece here. So the second problem I found was when I had this piece on and I tried to join the other one together, this was all too flimsy. I didn't like it at all. The whole thing felt really Mickey Mouse. So personally speaking, you know, these were not expensive. I'll put a link to where I got them from down below if anyone wants to use them. Definitely good, definitely a really nice idea, and relatively easy to fix, but I much prefer this, and in the future I'll definitely be doing more of that kind of thing, making it up. I mean, this is, even what I've done here is different to the first time that I built it. This, just by cutting this at an angle and cutting that at an angle there, so that you've got a drip detail, this is going to make installation a lot easier. So next time I do something for someone, that's the way I'll do. But you give me your opinion and you tell me. I'll flash the video up of what it looked like when it was finished, and I'll flash the video up of when I've done this kind of thing on a couple of different jobs, and you tell me which one you think looks neater. Here we have the liquid system. I know that I can now make this a lot more streamlined than this is now. I can probably halve the width from the top, and this is the one that I did with the artificial lead, which is a little bit higher. Personally speaking, I prefer the liquid one, but that's really down to everybody. What do you think? Do you prefer doing it with the liquid or this particular one? I would say to you that this felt flimsy when I was finished, where the liquid one was much more solid. You could stand on that if you wanted to. It was really nice and solid and robust, where this particular one here, I didn't like the joints with all the artificial lead. Like to hear your comments. Speak soon.